The story started in 1985, precisely the 14th day of June 1985, when 5 European Union states came together to abolish internal borders between them. These 5 countries were Belgium, Germany, France, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. By abolishing the borders between them, a Schengen area was born. Other countries in EU will later join the Schengen area. Depending on the country in question, there are so many types of visas and visa categories across the world. But today, we are going to be focusing on Schengen visas. What is a Schengen visa? Which country does it take you to? What can you do with it? What do you need as documents required to get a Schengen visa? How much is it going to cost? All of these questions I have received from you guys in the comment section and also directly. And so today, we're going to get to it. There's a special gift at the end of this video for those of you who watch till the very end. This gift would help you tidy up your entire Schengen visa application process. So don't miss it. Remember that this is your #1 YouTube channel where you find top quality videos regarding fellowships, scholarships, ships, and experiences that help you discover Africa abroad. My name is E to the M to the D to the double E, Emdee Tiamiyu, and in case you're seeing my face for the very first time, welcome to my YouTube channel. You want to like this video so other people can find it? Subscribe so you don't miss out on any other great information like this one, and make sure you share this video to help someone within your network. And in case you're a returning subscriber, you have been here before and you're always coming back, I love you so much. We are now 15,000 subscribers strong, guys. This community is growing really fast and really strong, courtesy of your love and your support, and I cannot thank you enough. Let's keep the fire burning, and right now, let's get to business.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air.
The first time I heard the word Schengen, it sounded very Asian to me. I was thinking it must be related to something Chinese or something in Taiwan. It's none of that. So what the heck is Schengen? Schengen is actually a town in southeastern Luxembourg where the original agreement was made to actually abolish internal borders between these 5 countries. Like I mentioned, they were Belgium, Germany, France, Luxembourg itself, and the Netherlands. So that town where the agreement was made is the Schengen. And so they decided to call it the Schengen Agreement, and that is what is now leading us to Schengen visas. They started as 5 countries, but today there are about 27 different countries who have decided to now join that Schengen area. The advantage is that people in Europe and also some exempted people across the world would now go through very minimal or zero border checks when they are moving around these 27 countries in the Schengen area. The beautiful thing is you can now jump on a bus or jump on a train or even use your own car to travel for as far as 4.4 million square kilometers within Europe with little or no stress at all. It is the power of unity. After 2 major world wars, Europe wanted to do something to clean up the bloodshed because there were so many people fighting one another. World War I, World War II, and this is one of those things they actually did. With the Schengen concept, the continent of Europe is now divided into like 3 blocks. First is the Schengen EU States. These are countries in the European Union who have also agreed to be a part of the Schengen area. We now also have the non-Schengen EU states. These are countries within the EU but who have stayed out of the Schengen agreement. Then we have non-EU Schengen states. The countries next to Europe or around Europe or within Europe, they are not part of the EU, but they have also agreed to be part of the Schengen area. Flying across your screen right now is a current list of the 27 countries that make up the Schengen area. This list never really stays in the same place because one of these countries can decide to wake up tomorrow morning and leave the Schengen agreement. However, a different country that's not on the list yet, but around Europe, can also decide to join the Schengen agreement, so the list could change. One of these typical kind of changes happened on the 19th of December 2011 when Liechtenstein actually joined the Schengen area. One thing that is very common across Schengen countries is the presence of what they call the SIS, which is the Schengen Information System. This is a platform that was put together to help capture, manage, and share data across countries within the Schengen area. They also use it to track and secure properties and people within the area. The benefit of this is that it contains a VIS, which is a Visa Information System. This is where they store the fingerprint and the facial data that they capture from you, the traveler, at your point of entry. So as you move across all of these countries, they don't need to bother you again for your fingerprint and for your facials. You can easily move, making sure that your travel is as seamless and as less rigorous as possible. The next question is, who needs a Schengen visa? Typically speaking, if you do not belong to the Schengen area, you are very likely to need a Schengen visa to access the Schengen area. However, exceptions exist. Number one, if you're a citizen of an EU country, that is, your country is in Europe, you would still be able to access Schengen areas without a visa, but in a limited capacity. For example, if you're a British citizen, as a UK citizen, even though UK is not part of the Schengen agreement, and UK also recently left the European Union as an association, still, UK citizens can enter into the Schengen area without a visa for up to 90 days within a 180-day period. However, as a British citizen, if you want to stay in a Schengen area for more than 90 days, which is timed long stay, you would then need to apply for a visa. All right, so that's an exemption. There are also exemptions with countries whereby there's mutual agreement for travel visas, e.g. the United States. US citizens can actually access the Schengen area without a visa for up to 90 days. And as a US citizen, if you are going for business in a Schengen area, you are permitted to stay for up to 180 days without a visa. So these are the couple of exemptions. The third one that is also very interesting is that if you are non-EU, you don't belong to Europe, let's say you're an African, you are from Kenya, but you have a resident permit from a Schengen state. So a Kenyan who lives in Germany with a resident permit of Germany can actually access the Schengen area also without a visa. To know whether you need a Schengen visa or not is an individual by individual basis, and this will largely depend on who you are, what citizenship you hold, and the type of residence permit that you also possess. Now let's talk about the costs. There are two major types of costs associated with getting a Schengen visa. First is the actual visa cost itself, and second are the implied costs. I'll break it down. For the actual visa cost, the specific fee is a standard charge that I'll talk about in the requirements segment of this video. As a citizen of an European country, if you need to get a Schengen visa, remember that it's going to be free. So you are just going to go through the process of getting the visa, but your visa would be free because you are a citizen of EU. If you're not an EU citizen and you need to get a Schengen visa, then the standard fees would apply. Now, there's another caveat to this. If you are a family member of an EU person, that is, your wife or your child is an European citizen. These things happen, you know how they happen. You will need to submit their documents, their passport data page alongside your own application so you also can get your Schengen visa for free. However, they will need them sometimes to travel with you. So if your child is born of an European, so the child is European, and you want to travel with them to, let's say, Switzerland, you would need to get a Schengen visa, but they will not charge you for it. But your child would be able to go to Switzerland for free because they are citizens of European Union. Does that make sense? And for the implied cost, these are costs of the actual processing. For example, most of Schengen visas are processed via a third-party agent, e.g. the TLS. TLS would have a fee that is their own in helping you to sort and process your document, all right? There could also be cost of delivery. If you want them to deliver your document to you after all of the processing, you would need to pay for that. They would probably also ask you for a medical insurance to make sure that your health is guaranteed while you are within the Schengen state. So you need to pay for some of these things. Logistics, you need to travel to the TLS place or to the third-party agent, as the case may be, to get your data captured. And also, generally speaking, you may want to also renew your passport if your passport does not meet the requirement that is needed for a Schengen visa to be stamped on it. So these are the other implied costs, but then we'll break them down further in the requirement segment. Talking about requirements, each Schengen country would have their own specific visa requirements, but there are general visa requirements you can expect from any of the Schengen countries. Number one being the visa application form. This is typically a black and white form that you can actually fill out in a couple of moments. And where would you get the form? Beautiful. You would get it on the official website of the country that you are visiting, the Schengen country you're visiting. So when you go to the website and you apply for a visa, the form would be there waiting. What if you are trying to visit multiple countries within the Schengen? Then you have to decide which of the countries is your main destination, and then you can apply to a Schengen visa at that country's website. So when you get the form, you fill it in, you will have ticked out the first requirement. Number two is the visa fee. There's a standard Schengen visa fee, which is about 80 euros or typically $84. If you're a child between the ages of 6 to 12, they will need to pay half of that, which is 40 euros or about $42. Now, if the child is less than 6, it's beautiful because they have been exempt from the fee. Now, they'll still need to fill in the application, but children under the age of 6 would not need to pay. If you're in the UK, it would be about £72. This was exactly how much I paid for my visa to Switzerland. If I was a child between 6 and 12, I would have paid only £36. But if I was a child of 0 to 6, that is, I'm less than 6 years old, they wouldn't have charged me. I would still have gone through the exact process, but then I wouldn't have paid. This is actually the standard Schengen visa fee as at the time of filming this video. Number 3, invitation letters / travel purpose. Schengen country authorities would want to know why and for what reason you are actually visiting the Schengen area. If you are a business traveler, like myself during my last trip to Switzerland, they want to know what company is inviting you to come work. So you need a letter of invitation from that company. You would also need an introduction letter from the company that you currently work. And that could also be your business releasing you to go on this business trip. So 2 letters. If you are a student, you definitely need your admission letter from the school that's based within Schengen. You would probably also need your receipt, your school fees that you used to pay. So they'll know, yes, you have paid your school fees and yes, the school has given you an admission. But if you're going on a tour, you just want to do a tourism thingy, all you need to really show is the booking of your hotel accommodation, showing that you have booked your accommodation to stay, and that would almost be good. Number 4, flight ticket. You'll be required to actually submit the details of your flight in and out of the Schengen area. Except you are a student who will be studying for a long number of years, then a one-way ticket may be okay, because you may not really be sure of when you are going to leave, what date, what flight you're going to use to leave the Schengen area. If you are going to be visiting multiple Schengen countries as well, a one-way ticket into the Schengen area may be required. Plus, it is safe to actually make sure your two-way ticket is there so that they don't have any reason to deny you of your visa at all. Number 5, passport. You need to have a valid passport to start with, right? And your passport needs to have at least 2 blank pages, because where are they going to stamp the visa? Number 2 is that your passport needs to have been issued within the last 10 years, which means it's not an ancient or an archaic kind of passport that they may not be able to verify. And number 3 is that your passport needs to remain valid 3 months after your final date of exit from the Schengen country. So if you're going to one Schengen country, when do you plan to leave? Then add 3 months. Your passport needs to be valid up till 3 months after. If you're going to multiple Schengen countries, calculate how long it's going to take you for staying in all of those countries. The final date of your trip, add 3 months, then check your data page on your passport to know the expiry and ensure that it is 3 months beyond that date. Then your passport would actually fit into the requirement for a Schengen visa. Number 6, bank statement. Schengen country authorities want to know that you'll be able to take care of yourself when you are in Europe and when you are within the Schengen area specifically. So they will need you to submit about 3 months of bank statement. An online statement actually allowed, so which means you can go to your bank website or go to your bank app and generate 3 months of your most recent bank transactions, and that would be enough. Remember that this is not proof of funds. There's no exact amount of money they want you to have. They just want to see flows of transactions within your account and something that looks like would be able to take care of you. If you're looking for a detailed proof of funds video, for example, on how you move to the UK as a student, I made this video to guide you specifically on that one. But for your Schengen visa, it is not a proof of funds. It's just basically a guarantee for sustenance for while you are in the Schengen area. Number 7, travel medical insurance. God forbid something happens to you on your trip. The Schengen country authorities want to be sure that there's something in place for you to take care of yourself medically. So if you type travel medical insurance Schengen, you see lots and lots of vendors that are able to offer you a travel medical insurance. The insurance cover value would be stated on the visa requirement from the website of the country that you are actually visiting. Some can tell you to bring a 30,000 euro kind of cover, but whatever it is, do not panic. I was really panicky when I saw that volume of money. That's not the money you need to have. It's just the cover that your insurance company needs to guarantee. And guess what? It could be really, really cheap if you book it ahead of time. I got my travel medical insurance for less than £5, and it covered me for up to about 30,000 euros in case anything happens to me on that trip. So they will need a document that states that you have bought or paid for a travel medical insurance that covers you up to a certain amount of cover value as stated in the specific Schengen visa you are applying for. Number 8, vaccination and medical fitness. Depending on the time of the year you're traveling, depending on the period, some of these countries may ask you to show proof of vaccination or medical fitness. For example, during the COVID period, most of the Schengen countries required double vaccination for COVID-19, and if you didn't have that, it could be the reason why they wouldn't give you your Schengen visa. These would be different country by country, time from time, so make sure you actually confirm what are the medical and vaccination requirements for the Schengen country that you are visiting. It is very, very important. The ninth and the final general requirement that I'm going to be touching on is data capture. Yes, when you're submitting your Schengen visa application, you will need to add 2 passport size photographs. However, during the capture process at the consulate office or the third-party agency like the TLS, they'll take a picture of you all over again, live on location. This picture, trust me, is going to show on your Schengen visa. All right, so make sure you smile a little. And also they will take your biometric fingerprint. These are very, very important things to submit before they consider you for a Schengen visa. But not to worry so much. I have curated a checklist for Schengen visa requirement that you can actually use to plan, calculate, and work out your next trip to a Schengen area. I use this checklist to manage my trip, and it could really, really help you as well. And guess what? I'm happy to share it with you free of charge. It could be a very good starting point for you as you plan your journey. So use the link in the description to reach out, and I will be able to share that with you over an email. It's a special promise that I made to you in the beginning of the video, and I'm thanking you for staying with me up till this point. For questions related to Schengen visas that this video may not have covered, please feel free to use the comment section and I'll do my best to get to them. However, if you require a one-on-one coaching session regarding your jackpot ship journey, it may not be about Schengen, it could be anywhere in the world. I'm able to offer you clarity sessions that could be 30 minutes or 60 minutes, depending on which one you book, using the links in the description. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel because there's a lot more goodies on the channel already, and there's a lot more even coming. Until the next time I come your way again, you have a right to be motivated.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found.